Welcome back to the Gravity Shed. So, have you ever been up a climb thinking, oh God, if I fall, will that nut hold me? Today we're going to find out.
So, trad climbing or traditional climbing, lead climbing, and your only protection is the pieces of gear that you have placed yourself in the cracks in the rock. Generally, the higher you get, the more scared you start to feel, even though the higher you get, the more bits of gear you've got below you. But sometimes when that exposure of the height starts to overcome you, you just start questioning each piece of gear placement. Will that nut hold me? Oh God, that little blue nut I'm putting in there, if I take a fall, will that catch me? Now I've got over 300 lead climbs on traditional gear in my logbook, and I've taken probably 2 or 3 major falls where the gear's been well below my feet, and the gear's always held, and then, you know, I've hung on the gear quite a bit. But even then, I'm still thinking, God, I need to back stuff up. Like this, for instance, you know, I'm about to do the crux on this. I'll be honest with you, it's only a severe, but it does say in the guidebook that the crux is a lot harder than the grade suggests, but it's very well protected, so it gets that severe. Even then, I felt, oh God, you know what? I've got to back that bit of gear up before I commit to this overhanging sort of chimney move with a very slippy foot placements.
So I've got 1, 2, 3 bits of pro there. That should protect me. I know that one will hold.
Well, today, my plan is to get on a sport route in a safe and controlled manner and try and take some falls on a couple of traditional bits of gear. Let's see how it goes, eh?
Okay. Good, mate. Ready to climb?
The plan then is to climb some sport routes and place some traditional gear just above a bolt. Now, what I don't want to do is keep taking big falls on bolts and potentially destroying the bolts, potentially destroying climbing equipment. So I am doing this in a controlled manner. Initially, when I thought of this idea, I wanted somewhere overhanging, plenty of cracks that I could take some real whippers on. Like I wanted to take some falls where the nuts were well below my feet. Unfortunately, this crag at Llangollen has hardly got any cracks. I didn't realise, but I managed to find a couple. This one isn't ideal. It certainly doesn't tick all the boxes that I wanted. I had to go anyway, like.
Although I don't know where the bolt is. Well, there's one there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this bolt for backup. I'm going to use an extender on this bolt to make sure that the weight is taken onto my bit of trad gear, but that there is to back me up. It's a little bit rocky, but sounds okay. So, let's find a piece of gear that fits. Red offset, my favourite. Probably a 7 out of 10 placement.
7 out of 10, really?
Bit of slack, mate. Right then, so now I've got to climb up and then trust myself to the old whipper. So we've all been in this scenario. Oh shit. Oh. And the bit of gear went. Brilliant. So, 7 out of 10 placement, and she still went. Let's try that again with a cam. You happy to be with me a little bit more, mate? I'll try fitting a cam. Sorry.
Looking at that, you know, it had a lot of rock-on metal contact, but probably wasn't 7 out of 10. I think I graded that wrong. You'll notice here when it goes slow, because it's such a short fall, I'm only falling from waist level, I go outwards first, so the gear is being pulled out away from the rock. Now, I'm fairly sure if that gear there was pulled in a downward direction, it would have held. Could find a better placement for that, really. I got it a lot deeper to prevent that from happening.
That's good, but you did. Well, I don't think I brought a small enough cam. Nope, I didn't. Let's try a better placement. Rather than using the red offset, I'll try placing a gold nut. Same crack, same position, just a different size. There's my red offset there, still hanging in there. Bit of slack. Okay, so same position, different bit of gear, good attachment. It popped again. Right, mate, that's the last whip I'm going to take on that sling.
As with the previous time, you know, it was a very small fall and I've gone outwards. This one pulled out even easier, which to be honest with you, it was a far worse placement now that I look at it again. I really do need to revisit this again. It's something I really want to take some higher falls. Now I think that falling from a higher position will make a big difference because you're going to be pulling down on the gear. But you know, it was still interesting and I'm still, you know, learning. It's all about learning and getting better at the things you do. And with this next one, I thought my GoPro was running, but it wasn't. But luckily, my brother-in-law was filming this on his iPhone. So basically, silver size 0 DMM cam. If I'd have got any higher, I just know I'd have smashed into the rock and it wouldn't have been nice. So I essentially rated it in a kind of dramatic fashion, but it held absolutely fine. Definitely want to try it again. For your information, this particular climb was a 6B, and I went on to lead it, even though the head wall was pretty tricky. It's good.
I couldn't fall there because I was just going to hit the rock.
So definitely need to revisit that at some point. I have taken wingers before and it's always caught me and it's always been good, but we're going to come back to this video, try and place some more protection and prove to you that trad gear is actually rad gear. Bottoms up.